Jenna. Today I am going to be doing my June wrap up and my July TBR. Now I have been in the biggest reading slump ever for the last month, so I have two books that I did finish reading that were very early on in the month. They were audiobooks, and then I pretty much haven't read anything since. I've still got a book that I started from May, I think, the end of May, that I'm still reading. I started another book that I'm still reading, so I've not had the most successful reading journey the past month. So my July TBR also only has 4 books on it because I just don't trust myself to read anymore. I'm still not really in the mood, so I'm waiting for that pesky little reading slump to hurry up and go away because I hate it. This is also technically my wrap up for the Witcherathon, which I did in June, and I only read, as I said, 2 books. So and neither of those books were on the Witcherathon TBR either. So if you watched that TBR video, I read none of those books in the month of June, which is kind of sad, but you kind of do what you do when it comes to booktube. So I am going to talk about the 2 books that I read in June and then briefly talk about my July TBR. But again, I'm waiting for the reading slump to sort of go away and for me to want to read a little bit more, so I'm not going to force myself. So because I wasn't forcing myself to read anything too exciting, the first book that I finished in June was an audiobook, and that was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I adore this series, and it's definitely one that I can very easily just pick up, reread, and try to ignite my love of reading again. Unfortunately, this time around it didn't really work. Well, it sort of did work because I was listening to the audiobooks at work, and the problem though is work started to get busy again and some stuff happened, so I can't really listen to audiobooks there anymore. So I was gonna reread all the Harry Potters in June once I picked up this one, and then I couldn't listen to audiobooks anymore, and I have no desire to physically read anything right now, so you know, fun. The second audiobook that I read in June, and the last book I've managed to finish in June, keep in mind these were both in like the first week, that was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling, which I also gave 5 out of 5 stars. I love Chamber of Secrets. Chamber of Secrets is my favorite movie, and I really do enjoy the book as well. I think it's really well done. It really builds upon the first book and the world, and we learn so much more, and I just love it to pieces. That is it. That is my entire June wrap up, and I'm a little disappointed in myself, but also I know that, you know, reading slumps do happen to everybody. There was literally an entire month last year where I didn't read a single book, so I feel I'm doing okay so far. I did not read the YA Circle book of the month for last month, and I am probably not going to, so I have failed in my challenge of making sure I read them all just because I wasn't all that enamored with it, and I'm definitely not reading the one for this month because it's a contemporary and I'm over them. I can't do it anymore, so I don't even know what it is. Come Fly, something about a plane. I have no idea, but I'm not reading it. I also don't remember what my TBR jar challenge was for last month, so clearly I failed that, but as always, we will do the TBR jar challenge and we'll just cross our fingers that one of the books that I've already put on my TBR can fit, or that I can at least find something really small to add. So, a book that became / is becoming a TV show or movie. I got this covered. Okay, so as I said, I'm still in the middle of 2 books. So one is the book that I started back in May. That is The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. It is the first book in the Witcher series. It has been made into a TV show, so that ticks that off. I am 206 pages into this one, and I'm pretty sure I'm like I think I'm at the last short story. I'm at the last short story, and I just haven't finished it. And the last short story is the one I've been most looking forward to reading because it's The Last Wish, and it's with Geralt and Yennefer and the Djinn, and I'm just like, how have I not read this? I don't understand. I'm loving this book. I just have no desire to pick it up. I don't know if it's because I have no desire for it to end. I don't know, but I really do need to pick this one up and just hurry up and finish it. So it is the first book on my TBR for July. I want it done, except I won't be reading it first. I'm gonna read this other book first, but still, I just want it to be over. Not because it's a bad book, but because I need to know how different it is from the book to the screen and also to the game. Well, the game doesn't really show this in particular, but the game shows the aftermath of this, and I need to read it. The second book that I have on my July TBR is another one that I did start in June but just didn't finish it, and that is Cursed by Thomas Wheeler. This is an Arthurian retelling where it's exploring the idea of what if Excalibur chooses a queen instead of a king. So Nimue, who obviously ultimately becomes the Lady of the Lake, she is the one who is wielding Excalibur in this book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I am 150 pages into it, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the different mythology that we're seeing. So obviously I I'm obsessed with the Arthurian legend. I absolutely love it, and I always love reading adaptations of it to see sort of what new things they bring to this centuries old legend. And this one in particular is doing a really, really good job because obviously we have all the favorite characters, so I keep getting excited when they all get introduced. Obviously we're introduced to Nimue, we're very quickly introduced to Arthur, to Morgan, to Merlin, and to Uther, and seeing them all, but seeing them all so differently from what I would remember, but also having this idea in the back of my head of like, yeah, I can see how they have adapted that and changed that is something I'm really loving. This is also being made into a TV show. It comes out on the 17th of July, so I really need to finish this one before then because then I want to watch the show. I'm not super excited for the television show. It's starring Catherine Langford in the role of Nimue, and I just don't love her as an actress. Seen her in two things now, so obviously 13 Reasons Why, which I didn't love, and then Love, Simon. She played Leah. I thought she did quite well in that. I'll be interested to see how she goes playing Nimue, and I'm really excited to see who they've cast and all the other roles and sort of how they have adapted it from book to screen. I think it's gonna do well. It sort of looks like, all the trailers and stuff kind of look like a budget Witcher, so I don't know how I feel about that, but I am really excited. I always love to watch new Arthurian adaptations. If you guys have any suggestions of books or movies or TV shows of the Arthurian adaptations, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm always looking for new ones because I love it so much. So I want to finish this book and then watch the show and see if I like them. So far I'm really enjoying the book, but I don't know how I'm gonna go with the show. Third on my July TBR is I have decided I really want to get a handle on my 2020 new releases, so I have put Venom by Bex Hogan on this one. This is the sequel to Viper. It is a pirate book and I'm obsessed with pirates. So this follows Marianne after the events of the last book. She is now the, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically something happens at the end of the first book and she takes on this whole new responsibility, and this book is now exploring that and exploring the world a little bit more and figuring out where she fits. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited to see where they take the story, and I'm just excited to read about pirates. And then the last book that I have on my July TBR is a reread, but I'm rereading it because, again, I do really want to get a handle on my 2020 new releases. One of my goals for this year is that at the end of the year, I don't want to have any 2020 new releases that I have purchased to still be a TBR book on my shelf, if that makes sense. So any 2020 new release book that I buy this year, I want to read by the end of the year. And one of the books that I bought that is a 2020 release is The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. It's the third book in the Truly Devious series. I thought it was the last book, but then my friend Renee sent me that there is a fourth book coming, and I'm just like, what? When I first read Truly Devious, I thought it was a goddamn standalone, and now apparently there's 4 books in the series. Don't know how I feel about that. So I want to reread Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson this month because I remember nothing from it. I loved the first book. I absolutely loved it. I remember finishing it, thinking it was a standalone, realizing that it wasn't. I was on a houseboat. I threw it across the room and everyone just looked at me like, you good? What's going on? I'm like, no, I'm not good. It's not a standalone. Now I have to wait for the sequel, and I waited so long for the sequel that I now own The Vanishing Stair and The Hand on the Wall and still haven't read either of them, so doing well there. So I really want to reread this one so that I can get a handle on the other two. So Truly Devious is set in a boarding school. So back in the 30s, the founder of the boarding school, his wife and daughter was found murdered and no one knows who did it. The only clue they have is a signed note saying yours truly devious or something, but that's sort of the gist of it. So many years later, our main character Stevie, she is set to start her first year at this academy, and she is sort of an amateur detective. She really loves to solve crimes and to detect things, those sorts of fun stuff that everyone does as a hobby. So she definitely starts to look into the case because it was never solved, and she uncovers this mystery, and then there's a whole new mystery going on, and it's just so well done. It's very twisty, very turny. There is a riddle in this book, if I remember correctly. There's a riddle that they don't give us the answer to, which stresses me out, and I do need to know the answer to that riddle, so that is why I'm going to reread this one this month. So there we go, that was my very short June wrap up and my relatively long July TBR for only 4 books. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have read any of these books and what you thought, because I would absolutely love to know. Also, don't forget to give me some suggestions for Arthurian legend adaptations, because again, I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.